Is it ever right to be wronged? How would you react if someone is trying to take advantage of you? Jesus said, go the extra mile. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 5:38 through 42, and we'll be reading in the New Living Translation this morning. Verse 38, Jesus said, "You have heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands that you carry his gear for a mile, carry it 2 miles. Give to those who ask, and don't turn away from those who want to borrow." Now, we can't go into detail about all of these things that Jesus is talking about here, but basically, there were then and even now, there are 2 sides of the law. Now, what Jesus is talking about specifically here is the Old Testament law for judges as they decided the punishment for crimes. Whatever the injury was, the punishment would equal that, an eye for an eye. But throughout Jesus' life, and especially in Matthew 5, he is comparing the letter or the details of the law, the details of the rules, to the spirit or the heart, the real meaning of the law. In Matthew 5:17, he said, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish these things, but to fulfill them." And that word fulfill literally means to fill up completely, to overwhelm. Now, there was God's law during this time, but there was also another law too, man's law. And the examples that Jesus uses here refer to both of those, both God's law and man's law. And talking about going an extra mile when a soldier asks you to carry his gear 1 mile, that extra mile is the higher road. It's higher than the absolute right or wrong. And Jesus is filling up this meaning that even a wrong action by the civil law, we should go the extra mile for. Now, what this meant in the cultural context of the day, a Roman soldier had the Roman law on his side. A Roman soldier could slap a Jew, no consequence, unless they died. And Jesus uses a very specific wording here, saying the right cheek. Well, if someone is facing you and they slap you, and most people are right-handed, if they slap you on the right cheek, that implies a backward slap, almost a demeaning, shameful. And so Jesus was saying, if someone demeans you with a slap, turn the other cheek. That's not a passive, "Oh, I'll take whatever you get." It's almost like standing up and saying, "Hey, you can't really hurt me." And the law said here also that a soldier could ask any Jew to carry their backpack, their gear, for a mile. But if they went more than that, they were under the law. And Jesus said, if they ask you to go a mile, go 2 miles. Once again, not a passive act, because if you went an extra mile, the soldier would be under the penalty of the law, because the law said that they could only ask you to do it for 1 mile. Now, Jesus' disciples heard and saw all of this, and they were a bunch of misfits, as you know. And Simon Peter was a rebel, and he had a real trouble with authority. I mean, he was the one who cut the servant's ear off the night that Jesus was arrested, and later that night Simon Peter denied him 3 times. But look how Peter changed. In 1 Peter 2:13, he says, "For the Lord's sake, submit to human authority, whether the king is head of state or the officials he has appointed, for the king has sent them to punish those who do wrong and to honor those who do right." Now, who is this guy? Right? This is Simon Peter. He goes on and says, "It is God's will that your honorable lives should silence those ignorant people who make foolish accusations against you. For you are free, yet you are God's slaves, so don't use your freedom as an excuse to do evil." You see, Simon Peter learned this lesson well. It's not about our rights. It's not about standing up for ourselves. It's about the right heart. And sometimes it's right to be wronged. And sometimes the higher road is going the extra mile. Jesus said, "Go the extra mile." How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really does mean a lot to me. If you like it, if you share it, if you comment, I really appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.